I'm going to teach you how you can use fraction bars to tell if two fractions are equivalent. If we were in the classroom, we would get our fraction bars out of our math kits and you'd be able to move them around on your desk. But if you watch carefully on here, you can use a chart just like this one to help you out. So I am going to think of two fractions. Let's say my two fractions are going to be 1/2 and 2/4. I'm going to look here. Here's 1/2, right? And then I'm going to come down to my fourths and I'm going to count 1/4, 2/4, and I'm going to see if it lines up exactly with 1/2. If it does, then they're equivalent. I'm going to color mine in so I can show you. And you can see 1/2 is the exact same size as 2/4. 1/4 plus 1/4, 2/4. If you drag down right here, you can see they're the exact same. So if you were eating this like a sandwich, chomp, 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 you would eat the exact same amount. So when I'm eating a sandwich, I get to say, I ate 1/2 of the sandwich. And that would be the exact same thing as me saying, I ate 2/4 of the sandwich. Okay, let's try again, and this time with two different fractions. This time, let's say 2/3 and 3/4. And let's see if they are equivalent or not equivalent. All right, first I need to color in 2/3. I'm going to come to my fractions that have a 3 in the denominator. They're partitioned into thirds. I'm going to color in 2/3. 1, 2, there's 2/3. And then let me come back down and find my fourths, and I'm going to color in 3/4. 1, 2, 3. If I was eating, you can see 2/3 is less than 3/4, so they are not equivalent. If I'm looking at this chart and I'm not able to color it in because maybe I'm looking at the computer, I can just drag my finger down. So 2/3, and I come down here, 2/3, and drag it down, and it doesn't quite reach the end of 3/4. I can see here 2/3, here 3/4. So that is how I can use fraction bars to help me. Now, if I had fraction bars at my home, I could line them up. I could put 2/3 on top of 3/4 and see if they are the exact same size. But since we don't have those at our homes, you can make them, or you can use a chart like this to help you out. I wanted to show you on this next page. Here are some fractions that are equivalent to 1/2, and you can see that they all are the exact same size. Do you notice something? Take a moment, and you can pause the video if you want to, and just see if you notice a little pattern here. Do you notice that 1 is half of 2, and 2 is half of 4, 3 is half of 6, 4 is half of 8, 5 is half of 10, 6 is half of 12. So any fraction that's equivalent to 1/2, the numerator is going to be half of the denominator. So for example, if I wanted to do a fraction that is equivalent to 1/2 with 20 as my denominator, half of 20 is 10. 10/20ths, if I put it on a fraction bar chart like this, I would see that it would be the exact same size as 1/2. I just wanted to point out that little pattern to you. So you are going to be using this fraction bars chart to help you determine whether two fractions are equivalent or not equivalent. If you have a printer at home, you can always search for a chart like this one and print it out and cut out the pieces too.